Hello, family. This is the old Christian cowboy doing our study on the ABCs that some Christians struggle with. Our lesson this evening is on the letter M. And we talk about things that Christians struggle with. But I want to look at some things that the minister, your minister, struggle with. I want to talk about when you see your minister in the pulpit, people do not stop to think about some of the issues, trials and tribulations, even temptations that the minister deal with. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 17. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17. It talks about the weight of glory. Once you take on the matter as a messenger of Christ, once you become his ambassador, once you become his spokesman, once God has called you, chosen you, and put you on a platform, people see your glory, but they do not know the story. And the reason why I'm not in the video, I want you to look at this pulpit, look at the chair, look at the articles that are connected to the pulpit. It's beautiful. And imagine your minister sitting there, be it he or she. Imagine you sitting in church on Sunday, and when you see them stand up to preach, you may see their glory. But I want to look at, for a little while, the story. Whether you know it or not, there is a dark side of ministry. A dark side. There is misery that comes with ministry. There is a burden that comes with being a bishop. There is agony, the agony of being an apostle. Yes, there is pain that comes with being a preacher. And there is enormous pressure that comes with being a pastor. The weight of carrying the word. You don't talk about that. You don't hear people talking about this. This is why Jesus said, "Lo, I be with you always, even unto the end of the world." No wonder he gave us a guarantee. He said, "I would never leave you, nor will I forsake you." So when Paul was writing to the young preachers in seminary, telling them, don't get excited. Don't think that being a preacher, a pastor, is a glamorous lifestyle. He says, what you don't realize, there is a weight, the weight of glory that comes with being a pastor. Do you not know, ladies and gentlemen, that statistics tell us that it is a struggle now more than ever for preachers who serve in the position as being a pastor? What do they struggle with? 88% of the preachers that you see, pastors that you know of, have been lied on by people who do not even know them. A lot of times people don't know who they're talking about. They're going by what somebody else have said. 88% of the pastors that you see in a pulpit have been lied on by people who don't even know them. 72% work between 55 to 75 hours a week. And when they come to church after doing all what they have done, the sad thing is some of them never ever are appreciated. Some of them have never ever heard the word from 72% of the congregation, "Thank you." Those of you who are listening to me right now, when was the last time you called your minister? Not because someone was sick or someone have died, someone is in jail, because you needed counseling, because you were dealing with something. When was the last time you called your minister just to say to him or her, you know what, I appreciate you being in my life. When my mother died, my father died, when my spouse died, when my child died, when my sibling died, when I was sick, when I was going through something, when I was about to have a nervous breakdown, for your guidance, for you not judging me, for you study loving me unconditionally, for you ministering to me and my family. I just called to say to you, I'm proud to have you as my pastor, and I appreciate you. 84% are on call 24/7. 75% of the preachers you see have been divorced, or they are going through a divorce right now. 80% have negatively affected their family. Ministry have tore up their families. Women would tell their husband, I did not marry you for this. I can't deal with this. Husbands would say to the wives that are ministers, I didn't sign up for this. I can't handle this. Their children are ashamed of them. It has a negative connotation on your family. 65% feel that their lives are lived in a glass house. As a minister, all eyes are on you. Isn't it amazing? People make mistakes over and over and over and over again, and yet they want you to tell them, God will forgive you. God will give you another chance. But if the preacher fall one time, make one mistake, they are ready to tear him down. They are ready to destroy his character. I think it's somewhere in the Bible that says all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And it's also in the Bible that says if a brother be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual ought to treat that person like you would want somebody to treat you. 23% are distant from their family, meaning their wives don't understand them, children don't understand them, their parents don't understand them, their siblings don't talk to them or shame of them. They think that they are weird or strange. 78% of ministers you see in the pulpit have said that when they're on vacation or on personal time, they have their vacation interrupted. Some of them have had to leave their vacation and fly back home because of a family emergency at the church. 82% feel guilt for taking personal time off. They feel like they have to be at the church 24 hours a day. 42% pastors' spouses feel overlooked by their spouses. In other words, your spouse feel like he's more committed to the church than he is our house. He care more about the members and pay them more attention than he pay me attention. Spouses feel overlooked, 42% of them. 66% expect the minister to live of higher morals. They expect him or her to live and do things that they don't do themselves. 90% of pastors report that ministry is completely different than what they thought it would be. When they start pastoring people, the people in the church are different than the people that are described in the Bible, how Christians should act. When you start pastoring, you get a wake-up call, and you see that verse that said, turn the other cheek and pray for them that despitefully use you, and we ought to forgive each other. 90% of pastors, when they start pastoring, they see that people don't adhere to what the Bible says. 45% spend 10 to 15 hours a week in sermon preparation. 50% less than an hour in prayer for the whole week. That means if you add up the prayer they prayed Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, if you add up the minutes that they spent in prayer, it would not equate to 1 hour. 75% of the preachers you see don't have a close friend, somebody that they can trust. They do not have a confidant, because when you share your business with people, they are quick to run and tell what you say or try to destroy your name. And as a result, preachers hold things in, and that pressure builds up on them, and for that reason, they are stressed out. 57% of the pastors that you see in the pulpit, you think they're doing good, but 57% of them are unable to pay their bill. 53% are concerned about their future financially. 75% of the pastors you see on Sunday are stressed and have stress-related illnesses. And as a result, they turn to alcohol. Some of them have even turned to drugs. They are looking for a way out, a way to escape. Keep in mind, your preacher is not Jesus, nor is he Jesus Jr. He or she is human, just like you. 52% measure unrealistic to the expectations of the congregation. People want you to be something that they are not willing to be, and they want you to do something that they are not willing to do. 40% experience serious conflicts with parishioners once a year. That means 40% of the pastors you see once a year have a serious conflict, meaning a falling out, a cussing out. Some of them start fighting. They be on Facebook talking about each other. It'd be a serious conflict of interest with a parishioner once a year. 45% of the pastors you see battle depression, fear, or anxieties. 26% of them are over fatigued. 87% of church members never call to even speak to their pastor. That means 80% of the church people you see in your church on Sunday morning have not called all year to say, hello, pastor, just thinking about you. How you doing? I'm praying for you. You did a good service Sunday. I thank you for being a part of my life. 80%, 87% of the membership never ever call the pastor unless it's something bad, something wrong. 70% of the preachers you see, pastors you see, have lower self-image. 80% of them do not have a close friend, nobody that they can talk to and share what they are going through. 80% of them. What a weight, the weight of glory. 27% don't have anyone in crisis that they can turn to. That means if a crisis come up, they don't have anyone that they can call and say, hey, I'm in a jam. I need you to have my back right quick. 27% of them. 81% of them have fell victim to temptation sexually. Preachers are men and women. And the same thing that tempt you look good to you, look good to them. And they got to stay prayed up. They got to really have their mind on the Lord Jesus Christ, really got to be committed to the cause. Even in the Bible, great men from Adam all the way up to the disciples have fallen victim to temptation. Even Jesus was tempted in the wilderness. So no one is beyond temptation. That's why when folk fall down, you ought not throw them away or try to bury them because they are wounded. Because today may be their time. The next time it could be yours, your child, or your grandchild. 17% have inappropriately text a church member, meaning you done sent a text to somebody that you should not have sent. 34% wrestle with pornography. Here's something. 37% of the preachers you see in the pulpit are homosexual. That's what I said. 37% of the pastors you see in the pulpit, and it's rising. It may be higher now, but 37% of them are homosexual. I'm just giving you the facts of the case. 50% of them are unhealthy, overweight, have blood pressure problems, enlarged hearts, deal with diabetes. They have health issues, and they are mentally stressed out, and they carry a heavy burden on their mind. They are mentally challenged. They have so much pressure on their mind that they can't even think straight. 1 out of 10 have a retirement plan provided to them by the church. So that means 1 out of 10 pastors that you see in the pulpit preaching, only one of them have a church that has provided them with a retirement plan. That means 9 preachers out of 10 do not have a retirement plan provided to them by the church. Last year, well, I should say in 2018, 54 of them pastors committed suicide. In 2019, 81 pastors committed suicide. And this year, just this year, in 2020, as of now, 93 pastors this year have committed suicide. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to pray for our pastors. Jesus said, preach in season and preach out of season. This is what Paul told Timothy in chapter 4 and verse 2. Jesus asked the disciples, are you able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of and be baptized with the same baptism? Matthew 20:22. He said, bless them that persecute you in Matthew 5 and 10. And he said, I send you out as sheep among wolves. Matthew 10 and 6. Do not feel sorry for a pastor, because pastor, you may have the weight of glory, but it will lead to the crown of glory. If you suffer for Christ, one day you will reign with him. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 4, and 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 28. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next time you see your pastor in the pulpit preaching, sitting in that chair, pray for him, pray for her. The next time somebody try to talk down a pastor, or you see somebody trying to belittle a pastor, I hope that you remember what I said. You see the glory, but you don't know the story. But one thing about it, serving the Lord will pay off after a while. Pray for the man of God. He is a gift to the body of Christ, and only what you do for Christ will last. I'm the old Christian cowboy, R.L. Moore. I hope this message has been an eye-opening for you, and I hope you'll treat your pastor with the respect that he deserves. I'll see you on the other side.